victim of unscrupulous businessmen is not really very funny at all. The one thing Puzo ever truly believed in, he tells us, is art. I didn't believe in religion or love or women or men. I didn't believe in society or philosophy, but I believed in art for 45 years. If we were to take him literally, which I have been arguing we should not, then at the age of 45 he gave up on art and went about writing books that would make money. Again, this is true and not true. Surely he wrote The Godfather to make money, and he succeeded magnificently. He wrote the screenplays to The Godfather and its sequels to make money, and again he succeeded. And yes, it appears that every novel that followed The Godfather was written to make money and with an eye toward the film version, and in all of this he succeeded, writing several more bestsellers that went on to film or TV adaptations. It is also not true that he gave up on art. In every one of his novels, he continued to explore his obsessive themes, the power of those animal impulses that lead to the corruption of men and society, the violence in the human heart, and the hypocrisy of culture. To these themes, pursued through stories of the criminal underworld, Puzo remained a faithful artist. He did all that any artist can do, which is to explore the minds and hearts' obsessions honestly. The essay that follows this introduction tells the story of Mario Puzo's, the writer's, journey to Hollywood, where he translated The Godfather into a feature film. The essay, written by a good raconteur, shares amusing stories of the things that happened to Puzo in Hollywood. And while Puzo is busy at the work of entertaining the reader, he also takes some time to argue for the primacy of the writer in the construction of all narrative art, which is a lesson the film industry seems destined never to learn. But mostly the essay is, as the title makes clear, the story of the things that happened to Mario Puzo, including his famous and disastrous encounter with Frank Sinatra, along the way to filming The Godfather. It's a read no real Godfather fan can refuse. The Making of The Godfather. The real reason I decided to write the piece that follows was, I think, because the wheels at Paramount refused to let me see the final cut of the movie when and how I wanted to see it. I hate to admit I have that much ego, but what the hell? Nobody's perfect. That incident, as described, also made me come to the decision that I would never write another movie unless I had final say. I so instructed my agent, which in practical terms means I'm out of the movie business. Before all this happened, I signed to write 2 more movies, which at this time were almost done. So I think I'm qualified to say that the movie script is the least satisfying form for a writer. But like most everything else, it's fun to try one time. Most movies are lousy, and they're lousy because the people who have final say really don't know how story and character work. Hollywood still hasn't caught on that it's money in the bank to promote a writer to status equal to that of producer, director, and, dare I say it, studio chief. The book. I have written 3 novels. The Godfather is not as good as the preceding 2. I wrote it to make money. My first novel, The Dark Arena, 1955, received mostly very good reviews, saying I was a writer to watch. Naturally, I thought I was going to be rich and famous. The book netted me $3,500, and I still didn't know I had a whole 15 years to wait. My second novel, The Fortunate Pilgrim, was published 10 years later, 1965, and netted me $3,000. I was going downhill fast. Yet the book received some extraordinarily fine reviews. The New York Times called it a small classic. I even like the book myself, and immodestly think of it as art. Anyway, I was a hero, I thought. But my publisher, Athenaeum, known as a classy publishing house more interested in bell letters than money, was not impressed. I asked them for an advance to start on my next book, which would be a big classic, and the editors were cool. They were courteous. They were kind. They showed me the door. I couldn't believe it. I went back and read all the reviews on my first 2 books. I skipped the bad ones. There must be some mistake. I was acknowledged as a real talent, at least. Listen, I was a real writer, honest, a genuine artist, 2 acclaimed novels behind me, every word in them sweated over and all mine. No help from anybody. It couldn't be